Question 21. The diagram shows a section through an eye. Which part is the receptor for the stimulus that results in a change in size of the pupil? Now this is a tricky question because you may look at the suspensory ligaments and the muscles that control the roundness and thickness of the lens and quickly go for either B, C or A, but this is incorrect because D is the correct option because it says clearly that results that receptor for the stimulus. The receptors are the nerve impulses present in the region of D, which is retina. The retina detects that the change of size of the pupil is required, so D would be the correct option over here. The diagram shows the brain in a vertical section. Which structure coordinates the menstruation cycle? Now the answer for this is that the menstruation cycle is coordinated by the pituitary gland. As we can clearly see, it is labeled as A over here, so A would be the correct answer. Which of these is a reflex action? Increasing the blood glucose level by eating ice? No, it is not a reflex action. A reflex action, as we know, is an involuntary action which occurs very quickly, which we cannot control. But eating rice we can control, and it is not very quick, so it is wrong. Lifting a book off the table by contracting your arm muscles. This is also not an involuntary and fast, rapid action by the body, so this is also incorrect. Preventing an insect from flying into your eye by suddenly blinking. I've added suddenly, but as you may understand, we blink very quickly when something comes near our eye. So that this is the correct option because it is an involuntary action which is also rapid without conscious control over our body. So C would be the correct option. Using a brain to work out answer to a problem is also incorrect because it is not involuntary action. We are willingly solving a problem. So students, question 24 is out of syllabus for 5090 because in our updated syllabus the chapter related to bones is not present, so question 24 is out of syllabus. 25. Diagram shows the percentages of an injecting and non-injecting drug users who suffer from HIV/AIDS in a particular part of the world. What accounts for the difference between the two groups of drug users? Alright, for 25. Condoms are used more often by the injecting drug users. Now, as we can clearly see that the people who are used to injecting drugs into their body, they have a higher percentage of AIDS in them. Now, this must mean that there must be sharing of needles between these people, which results in the spread of HIV. So, A option is not related to that. Injecting drugs is more common in areas of dense population. Now, this is also not related to our answer. We are talking about using the same needle. The same needle may be used by several injecting drug users. As I said earlier, there must be sharing of injections which results in the spread of HIV. So C is the correct option. There are more injecting drug users than non-injecting drug users in this part of the world. We cannot ourselves assume anything related to the information. Now, question 26. Penicillin is produced by fungus Penicillium. The stages involved are corn and yeast are added to the fungus. Penicillin is extracted. Penicillin is secreted by the fungus. The product is filtered. Now, as we may easily understand, the first step would be adding corn and yeast to the fungus. So this would be the first step. The second step would be penicillin is secreted by the fungus. Then the third step will be that the product is filtered, and finally penicillin is extracted from that product and our process is complete. Now, A option fits best and correctly according to these sequences. Which table shows the features of bacteria, fungi and viruses? Alright. Now we can easily understand this by looking at viruses only. Because viruses do not contain a cell membrane as indicated by A, so option A is incorrect. Now fungi, they contain cell wall which is crossed in option B, which means B is also incorrect. For C, now according to C, fungi don't contain a cell membrane, but they say that viruses do have a cell membrane and cell wall, which is incorrect. Viruses neither have a cell wall nor a cell membrane, so C option is also incorrect. The last option is D. which indicates that viruses don't contain neither cell membrane, cell nucleus, or cell wall, which is correct. Fungi contain all three of these, but bacteria do not contain a cell nucleus. They contain circular DNA. So this is also correct. So D is the correct option for 27. 28. The diagram shows changes in populations of a plant and animal plankton in a lake. Alright, we can see a graph over here. The dotted line indicates plant plankton population, while the normal line indicates animal plankton. Consider the following statement in relation to the data provided by the graph. Population changes in animal plankton lag behind similar changes in plant plankton because the animals feed on plants. To which category does this statement fall? It is a reasonable interpretation of the data. It is a restatement of the data, not an interpretation. It is contradicted or not supported by the data. More data is required in order for this interpretation to be made. Now, if you look at B, it is a restatement according to what the questioner says. Now, we can easily say that it is not a restatement because the graph only shows us like the population changes. It does not say that they are related in some way, like due to animals eating plants. It is not indicated by the graph. So B is incorrect. It is contradicted or not supported by the data. No, we can easily see that as plant population spikes, so does animal population, and as plant population decreases, animal population also decreases. So it is not contradicted or not supported by the data. As A says, it is a reasonable interpretation of the data. Yes, we can see because they both increase and decrease occur nearly at this almost quite closely, because when plant population decreases, as we can clearly see, animal population also decreases. D, more data required in order for this interpretation to be made. No, we can clearly already see that the statement provided by the examiner is correct. 29. Which sequence is a food chain? As we know, a food chain is always going to start from a producer, which in here starts from C and D, so A and B are already incorrect. Then after a producer comes a herbivore, then a carnivore, and then another carnivore, which can easily be seen in the option number C. Which stage of the carbon cycle depends on the presence of bacteria and fungi in the soil. Now, the presence of bacteria and fungi result in decomposition, which returns the element carbon back into the environment. Now, decomposition will be the correct option because that is the process which occurs due to presence of bacteria and fungi in the soil. So B would be the answer. Which term correctly describes the malarial pathogen? A, bacterium, B, insect, C, parasite, and D, vector. Now, this is a fact that the malarial pathogen is a parasite. So this question is not in an explanation. C is the correct answer. It is something you need to remember, that a malarial pathogen is a parasite. Which two air pollutants contribute to acid rain? We know that the pollutants which contribute to acid rain are sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, which can easily be seen in the option D. The diagram shows the chromosomes in a cell, which diagram shows the product of one division of the cell by mitosis. Now we know that due to mitosis, the number of chromosomes will remain same. So in this cell, we can see that there are 6 chromosomes. So after mitosis, the number of chromosomes will remain 6. They will not become halved and turn into 3. So this means A and C are incorrect because in that the number of chromosomes have halved in each cell. It shows product of one division. It means it does not divide 2 times, and when the cell divides only by 1 time, one cell results in 2 cells. When it divides 2 times, 2 cells results in becoming 4 cells. So D is also incorrect. B is the correct answer because when one cell divides only 1 time, it only results in 1 more cell, which results in 2 cells total. So B is the correct option. The diagram shows the stigma style and ovary of a flower. Where does fertilization take place? We know that fertilization will occur when both the gametes, the pollen tube, the nucleus present inside the pollen tube, and the egg present inside the ovary. Now this is a tricky question because the pollen tube has almost reached the egg in B part, but it has not successfully met it yet. The nucleus has not met the egg. So the sperm nuclei has not met the egg yet, so we cannot say that fertilization will take place here, but we can clearly see that in A, the egg and the Sperm nuclei have met together, so fertilization will take place in A, but they have not met together in neither B, C, or D. So A will be the correct option. Which part of the human female reproductive system does a zygote start to divide to form a ball of cells? Now, this is also a fact based question because the zygote always forms in the oviduct, which is C. What is the best way to prevent the spread of human immunodeficiency virus? Immunodeficiency virus? Alright, what's the best way? Let's see the options he has provided. Always keep fit by taking regular exercise. Now, the best way will be to, not share things with people that involve blood or use condoms during sexual intercourse, maybe, so that they're not spread through interaction. Let's see the other options as well. Not drink from a cup that has been used by an infected person, have regular tests for HIV, and use condoms for during sexual intercourse. Now the answer is quite simple, D, because when you'll be using it, then the spread of HIV through such intercourse will be stopped. 37. The diagram shows a pair of chromosomes from the same cell. A gene is found at the point labeled P. Okay. In a heterozygous individual, what will be found at the equivalent position labeled Q? Now, this is a tricky question. Please listen carefully. In a heterozygous individual, heterozygous means that both the alleles present are not the same. Alright. For example, if at P a capital A gene is present, then at Q a small a gene will be present. It will not be a capital A because in a heterozygous both the present alleles are different. Alright, they will not, he did not say homozygous, he said heterozygous. It means the genes present at P will not be the allele present at B will not be the same as Q. Alright. And another thing, as we can see, the position of P and Q are the same, which means that it will be the same type of gene but a different allele of it, which can clearly we can see that the answer will be B, a different allele. As I said, the allele will be different of the same gene. It will be the same gene because they are present in the same position in the opposite chromosome. So the answer will be B, because same gene because same position, and different allele because it is a heterozygous individual. Which characteristics show continuous and discontinuous variation in humans? Alright, continuous variation can be affected by environment, and it is also affected by what we inherit through our parents, and discontinuous is only affected by our parents. It is not affected by the environment. So let's see continuous variation. Height is always of continuous variation. Blood groups is discontinuous, so A is wrong. Free or attached earlobes is also discontinuous variation, so A and B both are incorrect. Intelligence and discontinuous variation, we have hair color. And for C, continuous variation has height, which is correct because height is always continuous related to continuous variation, and free or attached earlobes is discontinuous, so C is the correct option. Which statement, and moreover intelligence is discontinuous, it is not continuous, so D is also incorrect. Which statements about natural selection are correct? Natural selection can lead to better adapted species surviving. Yes, they can, because the better adapted species live and the other ones, they over the time their population decreases, so they can lead to better adapted species surviving. True. Natural selection can lead to extinction of a species. Yes, of course, the species which are well adapted, they survive. The one they are not, they over time they die, so they lead to the extinction of a particular type of species. So this is also true. Natural selection can lead to gene mutation occurring. Now this is incorrect because natural selection does result in extinction of species and leads to a better ones being able to mate and carry on their characteristics and live on, but natural selection never results in mutation of genes. So the answer will be B part. Alright, the last question. Which statements about genetically engineered plants show potential benefits? The increased yield from genetically engineered plants allows a smaller area of land to be farmed. Now this is an advantage, so 1 is correct. Genetically engineered plants may have improved nutritional value. This is also a benefit, so it will also be correct. Some plants can be genetically modified to give resistance to diseases. Now this is also beneficial for us. So these 3 are correct. Now I will show you why the other 3 are incorrect. Cross pollination with weeds could produce new varieties of weeds. Now weeds is already an unwanted plant which we do not read, so it is not a benefit. So 4 is incorrect. The use of genetically engineered crops may explain the increase in allergies in children. Now this is also a disadvantage, not an advantage. So 5 is also incorrect. 6. There is more research needed on the long-term effects of genetically engineered crops on the environment. This is just a statement, is not a benefit. So 1, 2 and 3, they are the correct options. They are correct statements. So A is the answer.